Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roach Crossing Wiggle, the Roach Wiggle, May 23rd, 2024. The sun is just too bright for me to leave that open. We're going back to winter lighting style with the corner light. I'll wait for everybody to trickle in. I know I did this a little last minute, making the live stream auction stuff has been taking up the bulk of my time, along with getting ready for house potential stuff. I have some updates there, actually. So see, we've got a couple of people trickling in. Hello and welcome. I may end up doing some administrative stuff here and getting some things squared away. Another long week of auction shipping and other stuff. Guten Tag from Zen Monkey. Hello. I went and did a quick check on some of my old videos. I just put up a video of Nazi. We'll talk about her later. Also, I just realized I'm not 2 minutes early. I was early with starting the live stream, but I guess that's not such a bad thing. So, things were kind of a bit dismal last week. It was a lot of me complaining. I did say there were some positive things. Let's see. Okay. Making sure I've got a couple of auction things to refund for and some extra funds to take. I'm just checking some numbers here for stuff. But again, the bulk of my time, auction orders when I'm not managing any of the other things. I need to ask this person, what email did you use to? So we have Exotic Wilderness, Hyperbeam, Devin, hello, and a couple of people in here. Just starting the evening off. Another I just got to get it off my chest for discussion's sake. I went back and reread. I don't know if I had received a response from Springfield Township, the second response or third response last week when I was in here talking about the house situation, but I went back and read the email, and it was a longer email, and there was I just kind of read through it, and I processed what I could, and things were not looking the best. There were also attachments with most of the response was in the form of attachments that they had sent me. So I had gone through there and looked at their formal response and the PDF, etc. I failed to note that there was one sentence at the end of everything. And let me go and see if I can grab that. If you wish to pursue the option of site plan review and approval as a special land use, please let me know, and we would set up an initial meeting in our office to discuss. So I had missed this very critical note because I had seen this blob of text, and there was also these attachments that were saying to go kick rocks, which was the formal answer. But I did not realize that there was, or I had not noticed that there was a more open-ended answer to things. So the next step, I sent a follow-up email asking a couple of things about this and that, and to see, if even without a formal special use meeting, etc., if we could still make things work, such as, am I correct in saying that if the bug building were simply an add-on to the dwelling, that it would then be covered under an occupational what they call occupational job, something like that. It's a home occupation. That was it. A household occupation, home occupation. So questions like that have not received a response. Suspect I will get a response to that tomorrow, and then I will ask to follow up by scheduling a meeting to bring everybody up to speed and go in there and basically tell them, hey, we're not looking to do we're not trying to run 100 head of cattle or something like that. We just want to have dogs and goats and these things, and within a very reasonable usage of the space that we're going to have. Bring them a bit up to speed and see if there's more negotiating that can be done in person. If we can get a variance, I forgot that variances are a thing that you can request. So there's more. Things are looking a lot more hopeful. Hello, Jonathan Green. Salve. What language is that? I'm curious. So anyways, things for the house are looking a lot more hopeful. They were, when did I go back and read that email? Maybe it was Monday. Might have been Monday or Sunday or Saturday. Anyways, so I spent, what did I do on Saturday? Can you remember what I did on Saturday? I had some sort of obligation or something, maybe. Sunday, I went to the property with Angela. Her brother was there. Will joined us to start cleaning out the barn, which was something we all agreed needs to be done regardless of whether or not we keep the property. Latin. Oh, I forgot about that. I took Latin in high school 2 or 3 years. I think it was 2. So anyway, so we cleaned out the barn. Will was looking for pseudoscorpions. Will found no pseudoscorpions. Maybe a half an hour after Will left, I started finding pseudoscorpions. We fortunately did not completely clean out the barn. We will be doing that on finishing it, putting stuff in a dumpster, etc. on Sunday. Everything I got from you is doing well. That's very good to hear, Exotic Wilderness. Exotic Wilderness popped in to pick up some bugs and plant cutting and met Nazik. El-Dio. Oh, yes, the Lonicera. Yes, Exotic Wilderness got to meet Nazik. I'm curious, Exotic Wilderness, if you'd like to give your take on what it was like meeting Nazik for the first time. Hello, Braden. I see you there. Anyway, so the barn was an adventure. Lots of cool bugs I've never seen before. Will found some cool stuff. There were lepisma in the barn, which I was not expecting. Will found them. Then I found a couple of them. So it seems that my lepisma colony will be started from not only Michigan stock, but stock that I personally collected, as well as Will also collected. So that's fascinating and exciting. I had never fathomed that this would happen. The pseudoscorpions are probably genus Chellifer. We got some cool dermestids. I think they're in the genus, whatever the genus for the black dermestid or black carpet beetles is. There's a lot of those. The barn is looking good. It needs some touch-ups and some paint and just some general quality of life stuff. The structure's good. I am extremely excited to potentially be using that because it would make my life infinitely easier. Exotic Wilderness thought she would be much, much smaller. Nazik is huge and soft, and when I mean huge, I mean it. She is a big girl. So Nazik was out there working with us. She did a great job just sticking around. Only one time early on when she was in the front with Angela, did she start kind of going out towards the road. Good thing she's terrified of cars, but Angela was able to get her. But we didn't have many problems after that. She stuck around. Once we cleaned up the barn, we actually had a horse stall open that we were able to keep her in, and she was fine with that. I was throwing stuff down from the upper from the hay loft and stuff smashing into the ground, and she was fine with it. She acclimated. I thought my Rottweiler was large, but I guess not. No, Nazik is a big girl, and for everybody who wanted a Nazieg update, I just put up a short on the channel of Nazieg's 1 year update. She has been with us since technically the 22nd. We kind of counted as the 21st of May, 2023. And she finished her heat cycle. We're done with heat completely. She's good. And she's a different dog. She does not want to play anymore. She's more affectionate, more like wanting physical touch and eye contact and all this stuff. Much more affectionate, not playful at all, which is great for a working dog. And I know that even Victor, when we introduced him again, Victor did a play bow, and she wasn't having it. She growled at him, and she's been very no nonsense. They're on good terms though. They're so majestic when they're just walking around the yard, and they're just right up next to each other, and they just walk in unison, and they just wonderful. So she's been in my neighbor's yard, not the one neighbor, the other neighbor, clear with the goats, with Bo and Betsy, clearing brush. He's got a lot of grape and hairy alyssum and all kinds of stuff that has overgrown since the last time there were goats in his yard. So she's been there protecting them just all day, just from about 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I would ask my neighbor if she could just live in the yard with the goats. But he has a very feral pet cat, and the cat barely even likes humans, but definitely did not like Nazieg. And we had this whole situation the other morning where I brought her over. I didn't know the cat wasn't in the house for the day, and the cat was terrified, and I was able to control Nazieg. But then Baloo, who is a indoor-outdoor cat for pest control here, goes into Scott's yard to antagonize his cat. So I had Nazieg under control, and then out of nowhere, Baloo, again, his cat's a female and Baloo's a male. Baloo comes in out of nowhere and starts chasing his cat around like Pepe Le Pew. I hope I'm not dating myself with that reference. But seriously, just like Pepe Le Pew, and she's just not having any of it. It was all this chaos, and eventually my neighbor was able to get his cat inside, and then I brought Nazieg back, and everything was okay. But no, I trust her entirely with the baby goats. It's been wonderful. She's been wonderful. It's just been great to be able to put them over there and not have to worry about feeding them, and not have to worry about, let her in, let her out, etc., or anything like that. It's just been wonderful. Victor's been doing well with the fence up. It's allowed me to really focus on doing work. Pepe is older than you. Thank you, Eric Matthews. Eric Matthews, your pseudoarmadillo spinosus, the remaining ones should be ready to go very soon, since I moved them into the new enclosure. It's a lot easier to access them now that they're enumerating more. So I have it on my whiteboard. I do need to get you another 5. There will probably be some other fun extras in your box as well for your patients. Anyways, so that's what's up. What's up with the farm stuff, with the new property stuff? It's looking positive. Angela's still a little like, no, I don't know, and maybe a lot of that was because I was freaking out, because with interest rates and all this other stuff currently, it's very intimidating, even with 2 properties. Like, it's financially looking, it would be difficult to sell even 2 properties and then have to buy a new one and have it retrofitted for all the stuff we need, blah, blah, blah. This is just so much easier. So I'm feeling much more optimistic, a complete 180 since last week with things. Auction shipping has been going well. The last of should be closing out the remainder of the backlog of stuff that did not go out last week tomorrow. I don't necessarily like shipping over weekends. Is it Memorial Day weekend or something too? Or is that next weekend? I think that's this weekend. I'm not too concerned about that, though. Stuff moves over the weekends, and while things aren't... is it Memorial Day weekend? Can't imagine your stress levels. Oh, it's been nuts. Memorial Day weekend 2024. This should also show everybody how, yep, Monday, May 27th. Had no idea this Monday was Memorial Day weekend. My life has just been manage animals, work, and then try and squeeze in husbandry, work on auction orders and try to squeeze in husbandry here and there. Console Angela while also telling her we need to do X, Y, and Z. That's just been life lately. And yes, our stress levels are immense, but we're working through it. Again, we're hoping. What's good, everyone? Hello, Zero Cool Ninja 88. Good to see you. Good to have everybody in here. I should have made this ahead of time. This one. Exotic Wilderness. I'm going to Holly Rec Saturday. Hopefully, I can find some cool flowers and herbs. Yeah, have fun there. I think that's where Angel and I went for a walk in like January or February, I think. Please leave a like, folks. Thank you for reminding everybody of that, Zero Cool Ninja. That's very appreciated. So anyways, everybody, life stuff is looking up. Auction shipping stuff, again, I pushed everything. I had to push everything a week into the future from last week. But I should be disregarding the fact that everything's a week behind. We should be back on track on being slightly off track as of tomorrow. So already Thursday. Yes, a person welcome. And yes, already Thursday. The days. I feel like I measure life in like weeks or maybe even months right now, and I don't like it. I really want things to slow down, but if we get this stuff figured out with the township and we figure out stuff with her brother and how we are going to compensate him for his part of the house and all that stuff, it's just everything's going to throttle. We've got the animals would be moved out of here. Could even be by July. We could have all the animals. Not all the animals. We could have the goats and poultry and dogs all moved out of here by July. And then be pretty much fully moved in by September, except for like the bug stuff. The bug building's going to be the biggest thing, but we're still in a holding pattern, but we're getting somewhere. Eric Matthews says, I'm helping with a summer camp craft this summer, a bug jar. That's a lovely craft to be working on. A bug jar, an easy one if you just fill it with some roly-polies. Exotic Wilderness says, also a friend of mine is collecting me some Opuntia humifuse hopefully this weekend. Never knew Michigan had native cactuses. Yes, we have two. My fragilis Michigan Eco type died, but I think Brandon Maines has it still and said it was doing fine. But I have two Michigan Eco types of it's not humifuse anymore. It's Cespitosa with the golden centers on the flowers, or the orange-red centers is Cespitosa. Eric Matthews says, what would be the best candidate bug to help populate? Oh, I guess I already answered that. A kid craft bug jar. It's probably almost certainly roly-polies of some sort, Porcellio dilatatus, etc. Release jewel wings into the bug building. Well, that's on the list of things to do for the conservatory. And Angela has been, she's been a little hesitant on the conservatory thing. It's hard to convey to her what I have in mind. And Saturday, Angela and I went to the zoo. That's what we did. Angela took me on a date to the zoo on Saturday. So that's what we did. And the butterfly house of the Detroit Zoo was exactly what I have in mind for the conservatory. Obviously, it's gigantic. It's much bigger than anything I could afford or desire to do, but a snapshot of that. And it was very helpful to me when I told her that I wanted to have zebra long-winged butterflies in the future conservatory because they're long-lived and their host is passion flower vines. So it'd be very easy to propagate indoors, very relatively easy to acquire because it's a Florida native. So I can always do a trip there to collect them, bring them back, ship them back, whatever. Anyways, So, but they had a couple of long-winged species at the Detroit Zoo and the Butterfly House, including one that had a variant that looked identical to the zebra longwing, and so um, it was very nice to be like, look, okay, this is what I want, and this is kind of the idea and stuff. And she seemed quite captivated. So another thing for us to work on in the future, one thing at a time. That's not going to be done anytime in the near future. Eric Matthew says the zoo must have been pretty mild compared to yours. We had a good time. The Detroit Zoo, like half the zoo is under construction right now, and I feel like they've really cut back their animal numbers, maybe because of that, partially because of the construction. But one thing we realized was how many animals are at the zoo that aren't planned to be at the zoo. There's a black crown night heron rookery. There's the peacocks roaming, which I think they've kind of accepted. Oh, this is just part of our zoo's flair. We'll just, I think they took the females off exhibit or got rid of the females and only have males roaming around now or something. There's Canada geese and there's uh, red-winged blackbirds and robins and grackles, all kinds of stuff. There's like every single herbivore enclosure has like a gigantic family of woodchucks in it. And it was crazy. Look in the camel exhibit. Here's the big rock pile of stuff. And there's like 5 woodchucks just hanging out on the rock pile. So it was good. I like the wolf enclosure. I like the domesticated Bactrian camels, and the butterfly house was great, but they have a 10-minute limit in there, and then they shoo you on through to the bird thing, and it was Exactly. Williams says I've been to that zoo. Their butterfly house is humongous. Yeah, it's much larger than anything I hoped to do, but it gave her an idea of sort of the vibe and style I'm trying to capture with stuff. So Alan says, welcome, Alan. Almost missed the stream because it didn't pop up in my feed. Sorry about that. I put it up quite late. So anyways, everybody, let's talk about some good bug news stuff. I haven't done husbandry since roaches last week. I've just been keeping tabs on some things. The air humidity is high, means I don't have to be obsessive about watering, but it was way too hot in here. Actually, I'm going to go turn off those lights down there because it's too hot. Too hot in here. It's 87 degrees right now. Air humidity was up in the high 60s until I opened the window about 2 hours ago and left it open. And then the air humidity dropped down to 37 just from it's so dry outside. When I was giving Victor pets earlier, I was feeling like the static on his coat because it's so dry outside. Rain is predicted, I think, a week from now or maybe over the weekend, but there's no big thunderstorms in the forecast. This is kind of how our late springs, early summers have been going the last couple of years. It just gets super hot and super dry, and then things kind of even out later on if they do. Last year was a good summer. We got a good amount of rain. Some of you may remember from the front yard tour, the mosquitoes attacking me. We did get a lot of rain at some point. I think it was July or late June. I wouldn't mind a little more rain than we currently have. Everything's quite parched in a lot of the beds and whatnot. So anyways, bug stuff. It's dry outside, but I haven't really had to freak out about doing husbandry, which is nice. Jojo Bug says, hello, Kyle. Extreme thunderstorms over here. Very lucky, Jojo. Welcome. Welcome to the stream today. Let's see other things I can think of. Okay, so bugs doing well. Again, most of my cultures are doing well. Larger springtails doing well. I lost my black velvet slugs. The last time I did husbandry on them, I looked at them and said, you guys got enough calcium. You don't need any more calcium. I'm not gonna put more calcium in here. And then I checked on them, and they all just croaked. It wasn't from dryness either, because it gets super dry in the summer, in the winter time, and they were doing fantastic. And now they just all melted into crispy goo. And I bet it's because they ran out of calcium, and that's just what happens. Either the soil pH changed, or they really needed it. So, yes, I do have them. Well, I had them exactly this. So I just very recently, I think 2 months ago, sold some to an aspiring bug breeder in Michigan, and he's going to bring me. He bred them, and he's going to bring me some babies to the next Michigan Reptile Expo. So he's going to bring me a restart, and so I'm not concerned there. This is fine. I'm pretty sure my other ones, the unidentified ones from Coral Gables, are doing fine. I need to check on them. Alan says, "What's your plan with moving? Are you moving all the bugs in a single day, or is it going to be a gradual transition?" We need to get the building built first. The building has the longest time frame, and the main thing is we need to sell this house this fall, basically between September and November. It's the best time for selling other than spring, and it gives us the best weather to move the bugs and all the indoor stuff when it's still reasonable temperatures outside. And it also gives us the opportunity to move the stuff out of here and then clean the whole house and take care of anything that's escaped and blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be, we will probably move the whole inside of the house within a couple of short days, because we'll just have everything will be ready and waiting at the new building or the new house add-on, whatever it ends up being. So that will not be such a huge thing, getting everything moved. It's more getting ready to move everything. So we figure at some point, I will basically just commute back to the house to work, and then I can sleep here if I want to. There's a spare, I'll have bedrooms and stuff, but all my stuff, what little stuff I own, other than my bugs, will be moved. All the farm animals, livestock, dogs, goats, blah, 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 will be moved to the new property. Again, this is assuming everything goes well with the township. And so this will just basically be the Roach Crossing household until everything's ready there, and then everything will just move over to there. And we're hoping by December that our life will have slowed down enough, we'll have gotten everything done, and we can take a breather. But yes, so we're going to try and clear this house out. So some minor fixes, blah, blah. They can, realtor can stage the house, whatever. And again, fingers crossed, by December, everything will be good. Circa says, "Hello, Circa, welcome." Says they died from lack of calcium. That's wild. Again, I'm not sure. Is it because they needed calcium for their body and they didn't have it, so they died, or there's so many of them. There were so many of them in the enclosure, and they pooped so much that the ammonia from them, the waste buildup, just killed them without the dolomite in the substrate to balance the pH. But anyway, so that's what happened. I know that the colony crashed. In fact, it would probably be wise of me to dump a bunch of calcium in there and then water it, and then see if any eggs in the substrate hatch, or if there's any that survive deeper into the substrate, because that's what happened last time. I was like, oh boy, I killed my colony, and then I was down to like one or two and like deformed eggs, and one or two of them hatched out of that, and then that started the whole new colony over again. They bred up into really good numbers over the winter time. So desire willingness thinking about acquiring from Satchel, but big no to transport across state lines, as it is for many other things that many people keep. Zen Monkey says, all bids are being moved on a Tuesday. U-Haul rentals, please everyone be on time. Oh, I just swallowed a Drosophila. Anyways, all bugs, I think, is what Zen Monkey meant to say. More good news. Okay, well, I'll touch on some bug cultures that are doing very well, but first, more good news. I got my car back. Bad news. Angela's brother, while moving the car when I went over there to help with stuff on Sunday, was backing out of the garage after jumping something or what have you, and smashed the mirror. Just the plastic casing broke, but it also left a scuff on the mirror. And I thought, oh God, this is going to be a huge thing, and blah blah blah. And he was very apologetic. I was like, it's fine. I just, I had like 3 more days to go before I had to take this thing back. So, anyways, I took it. They got the call that my car was ready yesterday. Went to the dealership, took it in, told him, hey, this broke, blah blah blah. And he was like, all right, well, I got to get the guy to go look at it. And they were saying, oh, we're going to have to replace the whole mirror. It's going to be $500, $600. Like, yeah, that's fine. He offered to pay for it, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, basically, they went out, looked at it, and apparently the mechanic or whatever was just like, we just need to replace the casing. We can take care of this scuff or whatever on our own. So it only ended up being $100 and not a big deal at all. No insurance claim, blah, blah, blah. So it was great. It was wonderful. Now my car is back. The engine is incredible. It is almost dead silent. It accelerates dead silently and yet instantly. So 76,000 miles on my car, and it's got a brand new engine in it, and so it's good to go in the long haul. The only other thing that could happen is a transmission failure, but we're not going to think about that. Devin says, my piece of good news for you. I was successful in breeding one of the orange Edinburgh's daughters produced by the females you sent back to the remaining male before he died. Devin, that is so extra. You went the extra mile to keep just the orange embers going by taking the daughter and breeding her to one of the original males. That is next tier commitment, and I thank you for that. And everybody who's interested in orange embers should be thanking you for that as well. Devin, news just for you. The Zophobus subnitens, they've matured. I had to go get some bugs out of one of the bins beneath it for an auction order today, and I saw the adults moving around. I think I counted at least 3. There may be more, but they looked fine. So thank you again for sending those. I hope I get a nice colony of them going. Eric Matthews says, I've seen slugs eat each other for nutrients. Surprised the first deaths didn't supply the calcium the others needed. Maybe it's certain species aren't as inclined to do that. Maybe the mantle slugs are not that inclined to do that. Zero Cool Ninja 88 says, how do you keep your clicker beetles? The Ignolator are currently in a big old communal with fruit jelly and swapping that out for apple and banana here and there. I will be pulling larvae to raise individually, just a minimal effort to see if I can get some captive ones out of the group. Circus says, I think my Testicella bred. That is wonderful news. I still need to check on. I added worms to the ones that I was sent before. I still need to check on them again, but again, I got to prioritize auction orders and all this other stuff. So I've accepted, there's going to be some things that aren't going to be happy with an extra 2 weeks of not getting checked up on and whatnot. And that's just how it's going to be. Alan says, my car also received a new engine for free. New engines for everybody. This is great. This is great, everybody. Everybody gets new engines. My Percelio expanses orange from a random source in California have exploded in number. A lot of my isopods are just exploding in numbers. These Marulanella, whatever's that TJ sent me, seem to be just on the verge of exploding. So that's great. I do have to do isopod husbandry next week or the following. I got so much stuff I have to do, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I'm happy that things are doing well in general. Thanks. We always ask questions, but I don't know if that was a full thought from Zero Cool Ninja. Thanks for all the content. Yes, I'm happy I can at least be entertained. Wearing my Gopper shirt today from Darren's White Rose Farms there. Devin says, I wish I was getting a new engine for free in some way to find out how much a new head gasket is going to cost me. Yeah, again, Ford covered me. I was under warranty. Again, I just hope the transmission doesn't blow, which is the only other problem there is with this model of Escape. But it seems like, again, brand new engine, and I take pretty good care of the car. So, maybe it'll get to 200,000 miles, no problem. That'd be pretty nice. Other bugs, Eucharidia, it's the humidity, might be temperature might play a small role in it, but I think it's mostly the humidity bump that's getting a bunch of them to mature. I've got a bunch of adults in all 4 Linglong, CF forceps, Westwood eye. What's the other species? What's the other Eucharidia species? Somewhere there's another Eucharidia species, Yasumatsui. All my Eucharidia got a bunch of adults. This is good. This is I don't think they like the dry air in the winter. I'm gonna workshop that this upcoming year, work on it, see what I can do to sort of mitigate any losses or